People and Plants, a multimedia series on how to build, maintain, and grow community gardens. Gardening is a popular hobby, but in today's world, many of us don't have access to the gardens our grandparents enjoyed. Many live in crowded cities, apartment complexes, or high-rise condos. Some may have physical limitations that make traditional gardens hard to access. Still others may have community garden space that doesn't have the best quality soil. These limitations can be overcome. If we think of gardening in a more compact way, everyone can enjoy this practical, productive, relaxing, and fun hobby. Containers are one way that people can garden in a compact manner.
People use containers in the garden for a variety of reasons. Two reasons are they are very flexible and they're really easy to use. They can be placed in smaller, sunnier locations, and you have control over the soil that you use to make sure that it's clean and well drained. In addition, containers are very easy to maintain. You have fewer weeds, they're very easy to get to, and it's much easier to harvest the fruits and vegetables. Another thing to consider if you're growing edible food crops is safety. So it's very important to know what your container is made of, and if it's been used before, what it was used for in its previous life. Containers that are made out of metal may leach some things into the soil like copper, lead, or cadmium, so it's very important to be sure not to use things like that for food crops. In addition, plastic containers may have been used for chemicals such as pesticides, so look for food-grade plastic containers to use in your garden.
Another thing to think about is the soil mix that you use in your containers.
Soil or soilless mixes that contain peat, sand, perlite, vermiculite, good quality compost, or other organic matter are some of the things that you can use to fill your container. Remember to use a clean and well-drained pot, and put your pot in the location you want it to be in before you fill it with soil, because after that it may be too heavy to move.
Raised beds are another way to grow in poor soil or small places.
There are many reasons to use raised beds in a community garden. One reason to use raised beds is that you can plant earlier because the soil will warm faster. Another is that you have control over the soil mixture that you use in the raised bed. And it is a way to avoid soil issues that may make growing vegetables difficult, such as compaction, contamination, tree roots, or proximity to a black walnut tree. It's also very easy to garden in a raised bed and much easier to harvest your vegetables out of a raised bed.
Raised beds can be made out of many materials. Some of the more popular choices are retaining wall bricks and stones, wood, and plastic. You can even buy prefabricated kits or customize your own raised beds.
When you're designing your raised beds and determining your garden layout, it's very important to think about who will be using your garden. Will children or older adults be working there? You could have people of all ages, sizes, and abilities visiting and working in your community garden. Design your beds with varying heights and have a place for your gardeners to sit. Remember not to make your beds so wide that you cannot reach through and across.
With raised beds, planning is very important. If you plan it right, you can tuck more crops into tight spaces and get multiple harvests from one location.
It's easy to forget, but make sure you leave room for growth when you're planting your seeds and seedlings. Succession planting is another great way to make the most out of your space. Learn which plants grow best in the cool seasons of spring and fall, and which plants grow better in the heat of the summer. Once you know the difference between these, you will be able to garden much longer during the year. Make sure you prepare for the next crop by removing the old plants completely. Then carefully rake the debris from the soil. Set some lines so that you can form straight rows, something you'll appreciate as the crops grow in. Mark your locations with a trowel to get the spacing right, and now you're ready to plant.
Container gardens and raised beds can help you overcome many of the problems we typically find in the garden. Limited space, soil issues, and the physical limitations of gardeners themselves. Whether you're gardening to relieve stress, improve health, share a fun time with family or community members, or simply to grow and enjoy tasty fruits and vegetables, using containers and raised beds are easy, low-cost ways for everyone to enjoy gardening.